Hi, everyone. Welcome back to the love messages. Kidding. We're not on the love messages today. We're on Monica Love today. So I thought I would come on and I would do a quick introduction to the human design book that I brought up. Now, this is a live, so I'm not expecting a lot of people to be on the live, but I know there's going to be a lot of people watching it later. So I'm going to get into the human design. Now, if you purchase the human design book, like I had originally announced for you to purchase this book, I mentioned for you to purchase this book because moving into 2021, you're going to want to know who you are. You're going to want to know your astrology. You're going to want to know all of that. So I've been a little bit busy, so I haven't been able to get onto the channel to do this video, but I will be doing more videos as time goes on. And these videos are going to help you to understand yourself. So in this video today, we're going to be looking at the 5 types in human design. Okay, so what are the 5 types and which type are you? Now, how can this information help you? Well, this information is going to help you to understand who you are. You know, why are you struggling in your life? Why are you, some of you are feeling rejected. Some of you are feeling like you can't find your purpose, or you're lost, or, for some of you, every time you get into a job, you start the job and then you quit the job, and there's all these issues, right? So I love human design because for me, I had a lot of issues figuring out who I was. Okay. So, and now I know who I am, and it's really helped me, and I'm able to, do my businesses successfully, and I'm able to, help other people. So the reason why I did this channel is because I want to help other people like myself, and I want to see other people reach their full potential. So if you're one of those people and you want to learn more about yourself and you want to discover human design, then I highly recommend you purchase this book. I don't have it linked in the description box right now because I am on the live, but after the live, I will link it in the description box. Okay. So welcome to the channel. I know there isn't many of you in the chat, but welcome for those of you that are here. So if you have this book, how many of you have this book? If you have this book now, M. Borth says that they purchased the book a few weeks ago. Hi, Eva. So if you purchase this book, then I highly recommend to pull it out now. Okay, get it out because I'm going to go through it. This book, I love it. Okay, this is the book I'm going to show you. Human Design, the Science of Differentiation. And this is the human design book. This is who it's by. You can purchase this on Amazon. I purchased mine on Amazon a couple of years ago. When did I purchase this? Well, this book came out in 2011, but I purchased it I don't know, probably years ago. I don't remember. About a year ago, I would say. So hi, everyone. Hi. Hi, I'm so glad you all are here with me. Thank you so much for tuning into this. I really do appreciate it. Thank you. So if you all can hit the like button, I know there isn't a lot of you in here because I haven't been really active on this channel, but moving into December, I will come on and I will be more active. I will even also I'm going to keep you all updated on the school because I'm going to be starting a school soon. And it's going to be a school for esoteric study. So if you want to learn about the hidden knowledge of the science of spirituality, what does it mean to be in the occult? What does it mean to learn about the occult? What does it mean about, because astrology is more than just your sun sign. And if you don't know that, you will learn that on this channel. You'll learn all of that. Okay. So let's get started with this without further ado, because I've promised for so long that I would start this. So let's get started. If you have the book, I'm going to tell you which book we're going to be looking at, which page we're going to be looking at. So get your book out and I'm going to tell you which page we're going to start on. So, and if you don't have a book, that's okay. You can use mine. We'll follow along together. You could also take your phone, okay, because I always tell you all the time, phone, you can get, and just look up just basically look up what we're talking about, and there's a lot of information online. Okay, so I want you to turn to page, let's see. I want you to turn to page, let's see. So we're going to be looking at the 5 different types. There's 5. Okay, so we're going to start off with, okay, so here is, okay, there's 4 types. Excuse me. I thought there was 5 types. Well, there is 5 types, but there's really 4. We're going to start on page 144. Okay, 144. It's called the 4 types and strategy. So I'm going to explain to you what my experience has been studying this information and what it truly means to be studying human design and knowing human design. So human design is the expression of your astrology chart, the I Ching, the chakra system. And the chakra system is associated with all of these squares. So if you look on the page, you're going to see all these squares and stuff like that, right? So the squares and the triangles and all of that, those are centers. Those are considered your centers. So if you look at someone's body, you're going to see that each of us have centers. Okay, so we have, we have the head, we have the throat, we have the heart chakra, we have the spleen, we have the solar plexus, which is on the opposite side of the spleen. We have the diamond in the center. The diamond in the center is what talks about our destiny and like what's our purpose, right? Like each and every person has a different purpose. We all don't have the same purpose. This is why all of us have, our hands are defined in different ways. You have lines in your hands that are very much different from everyone else. Well, it's the same thing as your chart. And this chart is very similar to your astrology chart. So when we talk about these charts, this is the mandala. This is like I guess it's the equivalent to an astrology chart. So if you know astrology, you'll know what I'm talking about. If you don't know what a natal chart is, in astrology, there's a chart similar to this. And these are all like the signs, and this is the I Ching pretty much. So the I Ching is like a completely different system, but this system is what's going to allow you to better understand yourself. Now, a lot of you did my survey. I did a survey, and the survey asked you, like, what do you want to learn on this channel? And a lot of you said you want to learn about yourself. So this is a great way to learn about yourself. And what you need to figure out when you're first doing this book is to find out, which type are you? Are you, okay, so we have, I'm going to go closer and you can see, we have the manifestor, we have the projector, we have the reflector, and we have the generator. So you need to know which one you are. Does everybody know? Okay, there's about 12 of you in here. Does everybody know what type they are? Let me know in the live chat if you know which type you are. Okay. I know what type I am. As long as you know what type you are, then you're going to understand what I'm talking about. If you don't know what type you are, you could Google human design chart. And what I'm going to get you to do is you go onto the internet and you just type in human design free chart, and a chart will be there. You need to put your information in. If you're uncomfortable with putting your information in, I completely understand. But if you're okay with it, it's completely safe. I've never had any issues. I've been studying this stuff since 2016, and I've never had any issues with putting my information in. So you just put your information in. They're going to ask for a name. You don't have to put your original name. You can put like a pseudonym if you want. So just put your name, your pseudonym, or whatever you're comfortable with. Put your day that you were born, your year, your month, the city, province, or state, depending on where you are in the world. And if your city doesn't come up, it just means that you need to find the most closest city that you were born in. So if you were born in a city that is not in the database, then you will be able to find it through a city that is closest to your original city that you were born in. Okay. So if you know what sign you are, I'm going to move along because I don't want to, I want to keep the video rolling. So if you don't know what type you are, I highly recommend coming back to this video so that you know which type you are, because what I'm going to do in this video, for those of you who are watching now and for those of you that watch later, I am going to explain each and every type and what it generally means to be that type and how your life is going to go. Most people suffer in their life for a reason. You suffer for a reason. Not everybody suffers, but some people suffer, and there's a reason why they suffer, in my opinion, and my opinion is only my opinion. You're free to your own opinion, but based on my research, and I have over 20 years of experience, not in this subject, but in astrology, which is very much connected to this subject. If you know yourself, life becomes a lot easier, okay? And this is one of the things that society, well, I wouldn't just say society because you have free will, but usually we get very distracted from learning this type of stuff. And I think now with everything that's going on in the world, this information is going to become paramount to people. And I say that because of the fact that we need to learn autonomy. Okay. So if you don't know what autonomy is, please look up the word autonomy. Self-governing, learning to govern yourself and learning yourself. And I think if every single person in the world learned this stuff and they learned how to become, independent in their own right and learning about themselves, then they'll be able to be the best version of themselves, and that will make a better world for us. Okay, so this is my purpose for what I'm doing with this book. So let's get started. I want to get started with the first. Now, some of you commented. Some of you know which type you are, so you're on the right track. You're basically one step ahead of, I'd say, hundreds upon millions of people, because a lot of people don't know this subject. And if you're on this channel, then you are really going to be moving to the next level, and you're going to be ready to go in 2021. Okay. So I'm going to start off with the first type, which is the Manifestor. And I'm going to turn to the Manifestor page, and I'm going to tell you which page the Manifestor is on. And we're going to talk about it. I'm going to tell you about stories. I'm going to tell you about my experience with the Manifestor. So Manifestor is on page 116. So if you have the book, you can turn to 116, and we have the Manifestor, and you can follow along with me with your book, and we'll talk. Okay, so the Manifestor, I'm not going to read it because, I'm not going to read it. I'm just going to say what I've learned from this. So the Manifestor is, I believe, what does it say here? I think it's 9% of the population. What is the percentage here? Yeah, 10%. So it says manifestors are somewhat rare. So if you're a manifestor, do we have any manifestors in the building today watching? No manifestors? No manifestors. Okay. So there's no manifestors, which makes sense. I'm not expecting there to be manifestors in the, I am. Okay. John says he's a manifestor. Okay. So John, okay, you're a manifestor. So manifestors are equivalent to 10% of the population. There's only 10%. So out of 100% of the population, there's only 10% of them. So we now know that when we encounter a manifestor like John, John is very special. Okay, so manifestor is very special, and they have closed and repelling auras. So with manifestors, I find, and I'm just going to say based on my experience with manifestors tend to not, they don't want to be told what to do, ever. Don't ever tell a manifestor what to do, because a manifestor wants to have complete and utter control over their own purpose, their own destinies, their own way of doing things. And they have an aura. Okay. Everyone has an aura. So we're going to talk about a little bit about what your aura is. So everybody has their own aura. For a manifestor, their aura, if you look at the page and you look at the book, okay, and I'm looking to the side because the side has my screen so that I can see what I'm saying and that I'm saying the right thing to you. So the manifestor has a repelling aura. What does repelling mean? It means it pushes everything away from it. So as a manifestor, you may feel like you repel people, like people just automatically move away from you for some reason, and you can't really understand why that is. And this could be very difficult for the manifestor, because the manifestor wants to create. And we all have the not self theme. Okay, so I'm going to be going over the not self theme, the strategy, and the signature. All these things are really important in order to have a good life. You know, if you want to have a good life and you understand yourself, I swear life is going to be 20 million times easier if you know this stuff, because that's what happened to me in 2016. I learned this stuff when I was super depressed, and my life has changed. So as a manifestor, okay, so if you're a manifestor, hear me out. You're not self-theme. What does a not self-theme mean? A not self-theme means you're not yourself. You're not yourself. So whenever you're in this energy of the not self-theme, it basically means that you're not living your best life. And it's actually a good thing, because what this information does is it gauges you. What do I mean by gauge? It means that if you're in this state of energy, in this emotion, or in this state, you know that you're doing something wrong and you need to switch it, okay? Which is nice, because sometimes we're doing things in life and we don't know if we're doing the wrong thing or we're doing the right thing sometimes, right? So we all have not self themes, okay? So the manifestor, you have your not self theme is anger. So manifestors, whenever you are angry, upset, angry, you blow off and you fly off the handle, that's not your true self. So what human design is trying to tell you is, how can you get into the state of your signature? Your signature is your equilibrium, which means your balance, your true self. You know you're on the right path. Okay, so the signature for manifestors is the peace. So when you start to feel like you're at peace, nothing's bothering you, nothing's affecting you, or anything like that, that's how you know you're in the right state. Okay, so what is your strategy? Strategy is talking about what you can do in this life in order to reach your signature, in order to reach that place of being at peace. Instead of being angry and upset all the time, how can I get into the place of peace? Because this is your goal in life, to always remain in peace. So here's the thing with manifestors. I'm going to explain this to you, and it's, you know, you'll know what I'm talking about, especially if you're a manifestor or if you're dating a manifestor. And this is another thing too with this information, which is amazing, is when you find this information out and you learn about other people, you know people inside out, so you know how to deal with them. I know how to deal with people like that. Listen, I'm not the greatest. Secretly, I'm not a people person. I'm an introvert. I like to be on my own. But if I have to deal with people, and most of us have to deal with people, especially today with all the people that are in the world, how do we deal with people? Well, you learn about them. Once you learn about people, then you have an advantage, right? So as a manifestor, you are only 10% of the population, but you must inform. This is what it's saying here, strategy. So the way to get into this place of feeling happy and feeling abundant and feeling like you're the best version of yourself is to inform. You need to tell people what you're doing, where you're going. And I know you don't like doing that. Manifestors don't like doing that because you're a manifestor. When you're a manifestor, you just do whatever you want. And you're like, I don't have to explain anything to anybody. Why do I have to tell her where I'm going or tell him where I'm going? And then I don't know if you've ever had this, but you know, maybe you did something and people got very offended because you never told them what you were doing. And they were like, well, why didn't you tell me you were going down to the store? Why didn't you tell me that you're doing this? Or, you know, and then it becomes, a big problem, right? So every time you inform somebody, manifestors, and you tell them, look, this is what I'm doing, then they don't feel impeded upon. They don't feel like you've come in and kind of taken over. One of the really cool things about a manifestor is that manifestors, it says the traditional ruler's role that manifestors held for centuries ended around 1781. So in 1781, the role of a manifestor ended. And it's funny because in 1781, we had kings and we had queens and we had a different type of world. Whereas today we don't really have kings and queens. We don't appoint kings and queens. In most places of the world, we have democracy and we vote, right? We do, and a lot of the Americans will know what I'm talking about because you all just had elections in your country. So, and we have elections in my country as well too. It's a different system, but it's very similar, you know, whereas in before 81, which was the Industrial Revolution, that was the era of the Industrial Revolution. Around that time, we had kings and queens. So manifestors are actually known as the kings and the queens of the human design information. Okay. So yeah, manifestors are here to inform. You have to inform. If you don't inform, you come across as impeding. And this is why you repel people. This is why people they go like this to you. Okay, I gotta go. Like I can't, you know what I mean? I can't deal with this. So you need to be able to do that. And I think, and it's completely up to you. You don't have to do it. You don't have to do anything I tell you. It's just that if you do that, then you're going to be more at peace than you will be angry. Okay. So there's different types of manifestors. I'm not going to get into the different types, but you can look up to see what it means to be a manifestor. But and it's funny because, and you could even see the famous people that are manifestors here. Okay. So you could see the different names here of the people, and you'll see even, you know, for example, Adolf Hitler, he was a manifestor. Okay. And I don't think anybody could tell Adolf Hitler what to do. Right. So, you know, all of these people, we have George W. Bush here, Jennifer Aniston. Who else? We have Bruce Springsteen, that was a manifestor. So all these people, I mean, this book is great because you can actually see who was a manifestor and what they did in their life. Okay. Because whatever someone does in their life can really represent who they are as a person. Okay. So if you're a manifestor, you're 10% of the population and you're here to inform and you're here to find peace within yourself. Now we're going to move on to the next type. The next type that we're going to be talking about is the generator. Okay. So if you are a generator, we're on page 123. So you can follow along with the book if you purchase the book. And the generator is open and enveloping aura. So your aura, generators, and by the way, if you're a generator, you have life force. What does life force mean? Well, life force means that you have the sexual energy to procreate, to produce. Now, we all have sexual energy. We all can produce, obviously. But generators are here for a very specific purpose, to create. You're here to create, to produce. And as a generator, your aura envelops. So what does envelop mean? Envelop means that people are drawn to you. Okay, so you have this aura where you attract groups. Generators, and now for generators, it's very difficult in this world that we live in now for generators, and I'll tell you why. It's difficult for generators right now because we live in a world right now where we're all becoming separate. Okay, everybody's like, okay, you got to stay here, you got to stay here. You know, we're all being separated now. And it's difficult for generators because generators like groups. They like to be with people. They need to feel like they belong. Okay. And I know that because I have friends and I have family members that are generators, and they like to be in, you know, they have their cliques. I like to call it a clique. Okay. They have their group, they have their people. A lot of artists who are singers, songwriters, entertainers are generators, or they have some form of generation in their chart. So what is the not self theme? The not self theme is frustration. So if you're a generator, you'll know what I'm talking about, because you often get frustrated. You feel like frustrated, you know, like, oh my God, why isn't this working? Why is this happening? And it's a very, it's a hard feeling for you because your ability to do stuff has a lot to do with you creating. So if you're not able to create, or you feel like you're being stopped from creating, then that creates frustration. Okay. So the strategy for you generators is to respond. Now, the beautiful thing is that we live in a world, okay? We live in a world where everything has to do with responding, does it not? You ask me a question here, I have to respond. You know, I ask you a question, you have to respond. You know, if you want to find a job today, you have to write a resume and you have to hand it out and wait for a response. Every single thing in this world that we live in is created for the generator. So the beautiful thing is that if you are a generator, your life is probably not going to be as hard as the other types because this world was made for you. And the generators make about 37% of humanity. Okay, so you could be a pure generator or a manifesting generator. Okay, so here's what it says. This is very important, so hear me out in this. It says, as approximately 70% of all people are sacrally defined, and we're going to talk about sacral. Sacral is the red. Remember I was talking about the sexual energy? So this is a sexual energy in the generator. All generators have this. Now, all people have the sexual energy, but some people have more than others. If you're a generator, you have this energy, which is creation. Okay, sexual energy is to create. That's another thing that we didn't talk about, which I will talk about. I will talk about sexual energy and how to use it correctly, because a lot of people don't know how to use sexual energy correctly. And, as a result of that, they never really create what they want. And that's a different topic though. So generators, it says 70% of all people are sacrally defined, which is that red square in the center. The generator's creative, like I said, creative life force energy dominates the global frequency of the planet. So what do they mean by the global frequency? Every single day, what happens? The markets open. The stock market opens. The stores open. Businesses start running. Think of a generator as like an actual generator. Like, when your house, when the power goes out and you need a generator, that's what a generator is. Generator gives energy, gives power. Okay. So yeah. And then it says pure generators comprise approximately 37% of humanity. The manifesting generators, about 33%. So if you are a generator, you need to figure out, are you a manifesting generator or are you a generator? Because there's two different types. There's the manifestor, and then the manifesting generator, and then there's just the generator. And I will go into that at some point. I don't know. I just want to ask, do we have any manifesting generators in the live today? Is there anybody here who is a manifesting generator? I know we said we have, I think we have a couple of generators here. Nobody's a manifesting generator. Okay. I don't think we have any manifesting generators, but manifesting generators tend to be a combination of a generator and a manifestor. Okay. So when you're a manifesting generator, you actually have what they call it you have the ability to speak, you have the ability to, okay, so some of you don't know which ones you are. Okay, that's fine. If you are a manifesting generator, you actually have a motor. Okay, I'm not going to get into motors today because that's a little too advanced. I want to keep it very, I just want to talk about the types and then we'll go deeper because this is just one video of many videos that we're going to be doing. And then in the school, we're going to go even deeper. The school isn't ready yet, but we're going to do this slowly because it's not something that, you can't learn everything in one day. Okay, Sophia says, my type is a manifesting generator. Is that two different types or not? Yeah, so we're going to talk about that now. So if you are a manifesting generator, that means that you have a motor. So you are a generator, okay? But you also have a characteristic of the actual generator, meaning first of all, if you're a manifestor or a manifesting generator, you have an ability to speak and people hear you. People listen to you, people hear you, people understand you. Whereas if you're just a generator, you have all this energy, you have all this creative drive, but sometimes you don't apply that information or apply that energy, because this is energy. When I talk about these types, this is your energy. Okay, this is everybody has a certain type of energy within themselves. Okay, we're all vessels. That's what humanity is. We're all vessels, right? So it just means if you're just a generator, it means you don't have the capability to really speak and be heard, but you have the ability to attract. Okay. And you have tons of energy, and sometimes you don't know what to do with that energy. So you need somebody to guide you and show you how to use that. Whereas the manifesting generator has the energy and they have the capability, they can almost do anything. If you're a manifesting generator, you basically have the energy to do anything, and you're able to say whatever you need to say as long as you enjoy it. The difference between generators and all the other types is that generators need to enjoy what they do. If they do not enjoy what they do, they get burnt out very quickly. So it's very important that if you are a generator, whether you are a manifesting generator or a generator, you need to make sure that you're responding. Because in your response, you're going to know if something is for you. If you go, then you know it's for you. If you respond to it and you're looking at how you feel, like, okay, somebody's asking me a question, let me see how I feel when I respond. Your body, everything about your body is going to tell you if this is something that's satisfying. Is this something that's going to be satisfying for me? And this is your key to life. Your key to life is to respond. And through speaking and responding, you then learn to become satisfied, because this is your biggest challenge in this world, is to become satisfied. And it's funny because when we talk about satisfaction, think about it. Let's think about the general population. What do most people say? Oh, I'm not satisfied with that. Oh, let me write a review. I wasn't satisfied with that. Everything in this world that we live in, it comes down to whether or not you had a good experience. And that comes down to what? Satisfaction. So this is what the generator is. The generator is majority of people out there. And I would say majority of people out in the world today are being affected by what's going on in the world today. And what is it doing? It's breaking down our ability to come together, which is how generators thrive. Generators tend to thrive through groups, organizations. And when we don't have that anymore, the generator starts to feel like it doesn't have a purpose. Okay. So this is what you need to know about being a generator, is that you attract people. You are here to become satisfied. You are here to get out of this place of feeling frustrated, because you often feel frustrated with life and the world. Okay. So generators are here to work. If you're a generator and you don't work, then it's very difficult for you to find satisfaction. You got to find something to do. If you're a generator and you're just sitting around and you're waiting, you're waiting on something, you need to work. I've seen generators not work, and they try to be doing other things. And that's another thing we're going to talk about: energy. Sometimes you are in your not self and you're acting like the person you're not supposed to be. So it's very important that you're not in that energy. Okay. So we'll talk about that later, but that's another type. So you could be a manifestor, manifesting generator, or a generator. So now we're going to move on to the next type. The next type is the projector. The projector. Okay. So the projector is on 129. Is that 129? Let's just make sure. Yeah, it's 129. So if you have the book, like I told you, make sure that you purchase the Human Design book. If you don't have it, please get it, because this is going to be the textbook that we're following along on this channel. We have the projector, and the projector is focused and absorbing aura. So how many, I think there was one projector in here. Is there only one projector, or is there more? I hope there's more projectors, because projectors need this information more than any other type, I would say. So projectors are very interesting, because projectors are, and by the way, if you have any questions about this, I will be taking questions at the end. Okay. So if you have any questions, please hang tight, keep your question. And when I ask for you to ask questions, then I will answer the questions and I will respond accordingly. Okay. I'll do that at the end. If you are a projector, projectors are really important in society, okay? Projectors make up, I think it's 20% of the population. Yeah, 20, okay. They make up approximately 21% of the population. So if you're a generator, you're very important, and here's why. Generators go through such a hard time in life because we often generators are rejected, okay? Rejected. Projectors will say something, people will look at them like this, like, what are you talking about? Like, are you crazy? Are you weird? Like, there's something different about projectors. Projectors have no motor, meaning that when they talk, people tend not to listen to them unless they have authority. And eventually you have authority, and we'll get more into that. So let's say, for example, you're a projector and you have a good idea and you mention the idea and people are like, that's crazy. That's stupid. Oh my God. Do you know some of the most richest people and the most successful people are projectors? Okay. So if you're a projector, I'm going to tell you, your not self theme is bitterness, bitter. Okay. The not self theme is to be. What does that mean? It means you walk around all day saying all these negative things. You know what bitterness is. I mean, I don't need to tell you what bitter, you know what bitter is. If you don't know what bitter is, go look it up. Bitter is not a good energy. Bitter is like, oh my God, I can't believe they did this to me. Oh my God. Like, you know what I mean? It's just a negative energy and you don't want to be in that, right? Your strategy. What does strategy mean? Strategy means what you need to do in this world so that you don't feel rejected. Because a lot of times projectors feel rejected. Trust me, I know. And it's not fun when you're rejected. It's not fun when somebody says to you, oh, we don't want her here. We don't want him here. They're crazy. We don't want that person here. They're crazy. They don't know what they're talking about. He's a little bit weird. She's a little bit weird. They're a little bit weird, are they not? They're a little bit weird. That's what happens to projectors. And what they need to do, they have a strategy. Okay, so what does the strategy mean? And I love projectors. Why? Because I'm a projector myself. So I understand completely what it means to be a projector. So what does it say here? It says strategy. Wait for the invitation. Projectors have to wait until someone says, oh, you're beautiful. I would love to marry you. You're amazing. I'd love for you to work with me. I would love to live with you. If projectors don't have somebody to do that, then they're going to go through their whole entire life feeling rejected. And rejection is the most devastating emotion anybody can ever feel. A projector can't just walk outside and apply for a job and get the job because everybody will overlook them. Everybody will overlook them and they'll say, literally, I don't know if you've ever experienced that as a projector, but you'll walk in a room and if you're not invited there, people won't even look at you. They won't even look at you. It's crazy what people experience, okay? So I just really feel that projectors, if you're on here and you're watching this, it's going to be really important that you enter the school that I'm going to create. Okay. The school is going to be there to show you that you do have a place. You do have a place. Okay. You have a place with other projectors who are like you and other people who are experiencing this type of rejection. Okay. So what is your signature? I want to talk about your signature projectors because your signature is beautiful. I love it. And I'm experiencing that in my life. So I want to share that with you. And what that is if you look here at the bottom, what does it say? Signature success, baby. No other type has that signature success. So when you see, and I'll give you an example of success. You know who's one of the most successful people in the world? And when I hear money, I think money is very successful because money is usually it's helping the world go round. Jeff Bezos, the founder of Amazon, is a projector. And he has now found success. In the early stages of Amazon, he was rejected many times. People were like, Amazon? What the hell is Amazon? What are you talking about? Now, 2020, he's the richest man in the world. So is that not considered a form of success? I would say it's considered a form of success. So every single projector has the opportunity in their life to realize this if they follow their strategy, which is what? What is the strategy? Let's see. Wait for the invitation. If nobody invites you, do not force yourself on anybody, especially men. If you're a male projector and you're watching this, you may be rejected by women all the time. You may ask women out and they look at you sideways and they're like, I don't think so. Okay. So you need to wait. Sometimes when you're a man, it's difficult for you to wait for a woman to approach you or for a woman to show interest in you. Okay. If you're a manifesting woman, a manifestor, and you're a woman, it's easier for you to go out there and do whatever you want to do, whether you're a male or female. Sex doesn't matter in this. It's just energy, right? So yeah, as a projector, you're here to do what? You're here to guide others. Okay. You're here to guide others. You're here to give others that direction. The beautiful thing about a projector is you're here as a teacher. If you notice, most generators, they're teachable. They're able to teach. They're able to give the guidance that other people need, and they're very, very, very wise. They have a lot of wisdom when it comes to that. However, another thing with projectors, you need to keep in mind that you often don't have sustainable energy. So you have to be very careful, projectors, what you put your energy towards, because you will burn out a lot faster than other types. Okay. You and manifestors and projectors do not have sacrals. So that means that they don't have that life generating energy. So they have to be very careful. Okay. So that's for the projector. Okay. And if you have any questions about that, I will be taking questions at the end. So make sure you have your question and you're able to communicate that question to me in the live, and I will explain further. Let's move on to the next type. I don't want to be on here too long. It's already been 40 minutes. So let's get going with this and let's get the last type. The last type, the final type, is the reflector. Now, I haven't really met many reflectors because do we have any reflectors here in the live? Reflector. Sampling aura. You have a sampling aura. Okay. And if you have any questions, just make sure you hold your questions till the end. And I just want to know, is there any reflectors, in the chat? Okay. So, Shoanne, I think I'm saying your name right. She says her 2-year-old son's a reflector. Okay. So you have a 2-year-old son that's a reflector. Okay. Okay. So I don't think there's many reflectors. Now, let me tell you about the reflector, because the reflector is really interesting. I've never met a reflector. I think Michael Jackson was a reflector. Michael Jackson and a couple of other people, I think Sandra Bullock and Michael Jackson are both reflectors, if I'm not wrong. You could check it out and look online. Reflectors make this is what it says here in the book. It says they are truly extraordinary. So your son, your 2-year-old son, Shoanne, I think I'm saying it right, is very, very unique. Your son is very unique, and it's going to be really important that you learn this information so that when your son is growing, you can understand who he is and what type he is. Okay. So it says here, this is what it says in the book. They are truly extraordinary in many ways, and they make up approximately 1% of the population. Only 1%. So if you meet a reflector, they're unique. They're very unique people. Okay. So what is a reflector, and what is the point of them being in society? Well, their point is the not self theme is disappointment, sadness, disappointment. But their strategy is to wait for 28 days in the lunar cycle. So a lunar cycle tends to be 28 days. It's a 28-day cycle. And they also have literally they have look at this, in their chart, they have nothing filled. Everything is open. So the thing with a reflector is often if a reflector is troubled or they're going through some sort of issues, it's just a reflection of their environment. We need reflectors in our world today, because what reflectors do is they reflect back to us what is going on in society. Okay. So if there's depression, if there's sadness, if there's whatever, they're going to have that within themselves. And this is why disappointment is their not self-theme, because the disappointment is what's showing us, what needs to change. It's almost like reflectors are the sponges. They literally take on everything that's happening in society. And it basically says, look what's happening to society. This is what's happening in society. What do we need to do to change it? So they are supposed to wait 28 days. before making a decision. And the funny thing is with this book, actually, it's not really a funny thing. It's an interesting thing. This book will teach you how to make decisions, how to deal with people, all that stuff. So for the reflector, they're supposed to wait 28 days because they need to sample things. That's why here it says sampling aura, because their aura is all over the place. And a lot of people don't understand them. They're like, why is this person crazy? It's like Michael Jackson, right? They looked at him like he was crazy, but he was just a reflection of society. Sometimes people are a reflection of society and we look at them and we condemn them and we're like, oh, that person's crazy. Oh, they're this or that. And we're quick to judge, but we're not quick to see what they're trying to show us and what they're trying to portray. So reflectors often portray who we are as people. So it's beautiful if your sun's a reflector, because your sun is going to show you what's actually happening in the environment and maybe what are the things that need to change. If there's a problem with a reflector, there's probably a problem with that environment or that society that needs to change. And the beautiful thing when they start to follow, because we all have a path to follow, which is our strategy, then they end up having a surprise. It says surprise. Now, I don't know much about reflectors, but I'm here to learn just as much as you all are here to learn. I am a guru. I have over 20 years experience in astrology and in this. Well, not in this. This is not even 20 years old, really. This science is only maybe 10 years old, maybe 20 years old. It was founded in the 1980s. So, but yeah, so that's the reflector. And the reflector is beautiful because the reflector reflects to us society. Okay. So yeah, so I highly recommend, if you don't know your type, please go and look up your type and get this book, because we're going to be studying it and we're going to be learning about different things. Now, for the next video that we're going to be talking about, I'm just going to tell you a quick glimpse of what we're going to learn in the next video. And if this is something that you're interested in learning and you want to learn more, I highly recommend subscribe to the channel, follow us. When I come on, I'm going to be doing brief discussions, maybe about an hour-long discussion about this stuff. I'll have a 30-second question period. So if you have a question, you can ask me in relation to this, of course. And if you really like it and you really, really, really want to enroll in the school, then at least you'll have some background information, because this information is not something I can teach you in 1 hour. This is like a lifetime of information. So what we're going to be learning on the next video is going to be about the circuits. Okay. We're going to be learning about the circuits here. I'm going to show you what the circuit is. Okay. The collective circuit group. So each of us have these different lines. We're going to learn about the lines. There's red lines and there's black lines and there's white lines. So I want to know what the red lines are, what the black lines are. What's all this? What are all these numbers, right? So I'm going to show you a chart. Okay, here's a chart, a random chart. So we're going to start studying the chart. We're going to study the numbers. We're going to study the lines. We're going to study the centers, all of this stuff. And I want to know what it means. What is a channel? What is a gate? What is all of that? So if you're interested in that, please subscribe to the channel. And yeah, that's the Human Design book there. The 4 types, Know Yourself series with Monica Louvre. Okay. So does anybody have any questions for me about pertaining to this, not pertaining to tarot or astrology, pertaining to human design? And try not to ask me to like anything that we haven't discussed. If we've talked about it in this video, then bring it up. But if it's something that's completely like left field and it has nothing to do with this topic, try not to ask it, because we want to make sure that those that are watching later aren't confused. We want to keep it very simple for everybody. Okay. So I'll be here for 30 seconds. If you have any questions, I'm here to take questions. Anybody questions? John says, are manifestors sexy beasts? Well, you know what? You can be sexy all you want. Doesn't really matter what type you are. I mean, when it comes to human design, it's about your energy. Your energy. How are you coming across to people? How are you dealing with people? If you are in a place where you don't understand why things are happening to you in life, why you're constantly rejected, why people push you away, why, you know, whatever your experience, most people experience these things. And this is why, or it doesn't even have to be about rejection. It could be about you not knowing your purpose, or why you feel that every time you try to pursue something, it doesn't work out for you. Or it could be, you know, just feeling lost. Some of you feel depressed or lost and you're like, I just want to know who I am. I want to know why I'm here. there's a lot of things in the world that we talk about people, and we don't talk about why we're here and what's our purpose, and you know, why do I feel depression? Like, why can't I figure out why I'm here? That's a common question I get all the time. And one of my stories, like when I was in university, I'm a university dropout, by the way. Not all of you know that, but I dropped out of university and I started my own business, and I'm very successful in my business today. But when I was in university, one of the questions that I asked all of the students that were in my class was, how many of you know what your purpose are? How many of you know why you're here? How many of you know what you're going to do after you take this bachelor's degree? And I would say about 75% of them didn't even know the answer to my question. So if you're one of those people and you don't know why you're here or why you're lost, and you just don't understand, then this is probably for you. If you're somebody who you don't have any of those issues, then this is probably not the channel for you. This channel that I've created is specifically for me to share with the world what I experienced as a projector and what I did to get out of a place of feeling like I was constantly rejected, constantly feeling like I had no purpose. I mean, and I just had this conversation with someone and I said, do you know my professor in business law failed me by 1%? 49% he failed me. So sometimes our purpose is not to go to school. Sometimes our purpose is to find out who we friggin' are so that we know what direction we're going down. Okay. So this is why this information is very important. Okay. So I'm going to answer any questions. I'm going to be looking at the live here. Okay. So, yes, I have the book. Are the 9 centers similar to the chakras? Yes, the 9 centers are the chakras. Okay, because when the 9 centers, we'll talk about that. I'll come out with the different topics that we're going to be talking about. But the 9 centers are, okay, the head, the anjna, they call it the anjna, which is the processing. This is the processor, right? So you got the brain, and then you got your this is your processor. The brain is the anjna. Okay. Then you have the throat chakra, which is here. This is your throat. And then when you go down, you have your diamond, which is the G center. The G center talks about your identity. From the G center, we go down to the heart center. Okay. And then from the heart center, we go down to the spleen, and then we have the solar plexus. Then we have the root chakra. Well, not the root chakra is lower, but we have the sacral, which is the sexual energy. Okay. And then so on and so forth. I'm not going to get into it. We also have the will center. The will center is the heart. Okay. So whatever you will is through your heart. So all of that we're going to talk about. But yes, if you want to start doing your own self-study, I recommend you take this book and start doing self-study, because then you could also be, you could be a teacher and a consultant. The other thing too that I mentioned on my Google form, I had a Google form where I had everyone fill it out. And a lot of you answered the Google form and you said, I'm on the channel to learn about myself. But there's also those of you who want to start your own business and become a consultant. So if this is something that draws you in, this is something that appeals to you, and you're somebody who maybe you're in a transition right now, maybe you don't have a job, maybe you're having difficulty finding a job, maybe you don't know what you need to be doing, this could be something that's calling you. And if it is calling you, then I am looking for consultants who are interested in learning, but you have to learn first. You can't just become a consultant, you don't know anything. Because if someone asks you a question and you're sitting there and you're like, and you don't know how to answer the question, well, then you don't look like an expert. So if you're somebody who wants to start your own business, then you need to take initiative and you need to learn this stuff. Okay. So there's consultants and then there's students. So we're going to have 2 different types. If you become a consultant, well, then I'm going to teach you how to start your own business in this so you can start making money. If you don't care to be a consultant, you don't care to start your own business, you don't care about that, but you want to learn about yourself, then you could do that as well too, but you need to get this book, okay? So I hope that answers your question. What's the next question? Yes, Sarah says, does it help in finding your life path? Abso-freaking-lutely. Yes, it does. Again, like I said, and I just told a little bit of my story, but I'm a university dropout. I went to university, I changed my major 3 times. I was in film, then I was in communications, and then I was in business law. And I dropped out of all of them. And I have a successful business and I make money and I can do whatever I want. If I want to go shopping now, I can go shopping now. If I want to sit and have a tea, I can, I don't have to worry about someone telling me what to do. So this is where I want to help you get to where you need to be in life. And if you're looking to find your purpose, then this information is going to help you find that, as well as the astrology courses that I'm coming out with. But if you're new to all this and you don't know and you don't even know where to start, well, this is going to be our group. This is going to be the place, right, where you come on. And I will come on during the day like this. Like I'm not going to come on at night because I'm very busy at night. I like to rest, and I like to, after 5 o'clock, I don't want to have to think. That's how I've structured my life. Okay. I've structured my life the way I want to structure it. And that's the beauty of knowing knowledge and being confident. So that's what I've created. So I hope that this will help you, Sarah. And yes, it will help you find your purpose. But the first thing you need to do is get the book. So if you don't have the book, I highly recommend get the book and learn your type, and then you'll be on the right path. Okay. Vera says, are the projectors absorbed other aura energy? Yes, they do. They do. Projectors have to be very careful whom they deal with, who their energy is around, because if they're around a bunch of generators, like one of the things that I've learned when I was studying this a few years ago, and I followed Karen Curry, I have like almost all of her podcasts and stuff on my computer. When I traveled like 2 or 3 years ago, I used to travel a lot when we could travel. I used to literally listen to her podcast, and I used to listen to them over and over and over again. And I learned about the projector because I am a projector. And like she taught me about like sleeping beside other people. Like projectors are actually not supposed to sleep with generators. They're not, because generators will literally, I don't know how to explain it. It's kind of a video for another topic, but I'll touch on it briefly. Projectors have an open sacral. So they don't really have that sustainable energy. That's why they have to be very careful whatever they're doing that they're invited to. Because if you're not invited to do something, I'll give you an example, okay? I wasn't going to do this channel because I knew that if I started this channel years ago, nobody would watch me. People would be like, what the hell is this? What is she talking about? Is this woman crazy? She's a nutcase. Now I have followers on my other channel. I have, 150,000 followers. So I'm able to kind of put this out there and get some attention for it. But I needed to be invited to do this. I needed to ask you all, do you want to learn this from me? Do you want me to teach you this? Because if you want me to teach you it, I'll do it. If you don't want me to be here, I'm not going to do it, because then I'm going to feel rejected. You know what I mean? So projectors have to be number one, careful who they spend their time with, because people will not recognize them. The projector has to be recognized. I've been recognized. People recognize me as one of the best tarot readers on YouTube. One of the best astrologers on YouTube. So I've now been recognized. Therefore, I can act like a manifestor, I can act like a generator, I can act like a reflector, I can do whatever I want, because now I've gotten to that point where I've learned that how energy works, and I've learned where I need to put my energy and where I don't need to put my energy. And where I don't need to put my energy, I don't worry about it. I'm like, they don't want me, that's fine. Somebody else will want me. Not a big deal to me. So yes, projectors do absorb people's energy, and this is why they have to be very careful who they surround themselves with, okay? So I hope that answers your question. Let's move on to the next question. Okay, I love what John just said. I'm going to read what John said here. John says, finding out that I am a manifestor has put so many things that have happened in my life in perspective. You see, there's one testimonial right there, okay? And we've only been on here for an hour, okay? So imagine when we're on here for even longer. Okay, so Omar says, what is everything you covered? Okay, I'm not sure what that means. If you want to expand on that question, then I will answer it. Okay, so what else? Okay, so Sky Beauty says, I want to learn both myself and business. Sure. I will teach you how to start your own business, and I will teach you about yourself, but you got to follow the channel. And you have to keep in mind, you have to be patient with me, because I do have another business I run. I have multiple businesses that I run. This is just one of my this is like my side project. This is my, how do I call it? This is one of my hobbies. This is a hobby for me, but I've turned this hobby into a business. So you have to be patient with me because it's not my priority, but my goal and my life purpose has a lot to do with helping other people. So you have to be patient with me, but if you're interested in this, then I suggest you subscribe. Okay, so Aquarius Diva says, already ordered the books. I love it. Great. Yes, on Amazon. Get it on Amazon, right? And I will put a link in the description below. I just didn't put it on because I was so eager to come on and see you all because I haven't seen you all for so long. But I will put a link in the description box, and that will be my affiliate link. I'll probably get a small commission, probably like pennies from Amazon if you purchase the book. So that will help me, and you're helping me, I'm helping you. It's perfect. Okay, so what else? Okay. Shawana says, I'm very interested in consulting. I am studying to be a life coach. I feel this system will help tremendously. Exactly. Another thing I want to mention, even if you have your own business, let's say you are a business person, let's say you are a consultant, you are a tarot reader, you are a life coach, you are a teacher, a psychiatrist, psychologist, doctor, you want to know this system. It's not just for people who want to learn about themselves. This is for people who already have a business already and they want to enhance their business. I've enhanced my business by learning this system. I'm able to look at someone's chart and know about them in 2 minutes. All I need is your birthday, where you were born, city, month, date. All you have to do is give me that information. I'll know everything about you. That's what I love about this system because I know about you already. So yeah, I think it would be great for you, Shawana, for you to take whatever you're learning now in your school and then also learn this stuff because you will become enhanced. You will become the enhanced version of a life coach, which is amazing. You'll be like the best, you will be better than the original life coaches, right? You'll be one step ahead. So yeah. Okay, so Mina says, where can I get the book? You can get the book on Amazon. Human Design, even if you don't use my link, that's fine. You could just Google, just go on the Amazon app, okay? On your phone, you have the app, you just go on. In fact, I'll pull it up right now on my phone so I can show you how much it costs and everything. It is a bit of an investment, but if you're investing in this book, you're investing in yourself. If you don't want to invest in yourself, then don't be on this channel because you are going to have to spend money to be on this channel to learn about stuff, right? Nothing is free in this world if you want some sort of quality. Okay. So if you're not willing to invest and you're the only thing that, and look at this, all my students have bought the book. Why? Because look, there's only 5 left. Look at that. You see, look, it says, I don't know if you could see that, but it says only 5 left. So you better get going and get your book because there's only 5 of them left. It's $114.93, but that's in Canadian dollars because I'm in Canada. If you're in the US, it's probably like maybe $80 or 90. I don't know. I don't know the conversion rate. Okay, it's $60. Okay, so if you're American from the US, then you're only paying $60. But if you're Canadian, like I am, it's $114. Okay. Here's the book. I'm going to show you. It says Human Design, the Differentiation Book of Human Design, the Science of Differentiation. There's about 200 reviews and they're all 5 stars. This book has 5 stars. So when you buy it, it's not like you're buying this book and you're going to take this book and like throw it, away and not use it. This is like a course book, okay? So yeah, you have to make the investment if you want to learn, okay? Okay, John says, thank you, Monica, you are an inspiration. Thank you, John, you're so sweet. Okay, what else? Okay, so Emma Lynn says, I've been watching you for several months and I feel like your messages helped open. Good. I'm glad the messages have helped you because the purpose of me being on these videos is to help you become the best version of yourself, okay? Not only to learn autonomy, but also to learn your purpose in life and why you're here. And I want to see all of you become the best versions of yourself. I want you to be happy and I want you to feel good and I don't want you to miss any opportunities. So Part of knowing this information is learning about the opportunities that you have. Okay. It's interesting because the book has a, somebody help me. What is this thing called again? Compass. Yeah. So we all have a compass. We all have a direction. And I think this is what this book is talking about. It's talking about us going into the right direction. And I know right now in the world, it's extremely hard to do that with everything that's going on. Trust me, I know it's not easy. So knowing this information is going to take you to the next level. And that's where I want to see all of you. So I'm glad I could help you, Emmeline. I'm glad I can help you. Okay. Okay, so some of you can't buy the book now. That's fine. Buy the book when you can. And you know what? You can look this book up online. You don't have to buy the book if you can't afford it. Some of you, I know you can't afford it, and that's okay. If you can't afford the book, just start looking online for information, and you'll find, if you dig deep enough, you'll find the information. Trust me. I know for sure you'll find it. Okay, because that's what I did when I couldn't. There was a time I couldn't afford this book. Trust me, like 3 years ago, I was like, $100. I was like, I can't afford that. I only bought the book until I could afford it and until I could make that investment. And not all of us are going to be ready to make that investment right now. And I completely understand that. So just look online for what you can. And if you can find it, fine. If you can't find it, that's fine too. Okay. And we're all here, by the way, we're all here to support one another. So if you have a question, I'm always here to, well, I'm not always here, but when I am here, I can answer the question for you. Okay. So any other questions? Okay, so another thing too, I want to mention, a lot of you have asked me if I'm doing consultations or tarot readings. I don't do personal tarot readings because I just don't have the time for it. I'm very busy. I have a very, my schedule is very, when it's changing, and also I'm starting the school, so I don't have a lot of time for that. But if you want a consultation with me, I may be doing consultations. But the other reason why I don't do consultations is because I'm going to create a society where I have people that do that. Because I don't really, I hate to say I don't have time because we all have time, but I'm really busy and I got a lot of things to do. So I can't do consultations right now. But eventually I may do them. Okay. So I am always changing as a person. I never have one thing going. I always have like multiple things on the go. So what else? Yeah, okay. Aquarius Diva says, please put the link. I'll put the link right now. Okay, right now I'll go and get the link for you. I'm assuming most of you are American who are watching this, not Canadians. Let me know if you're Canadian in the live, and I'll get the link now for you, okay? So that you have it, because I want you all to get this book. You need to get it. Okay, because if you don't get it, then you're going to be missing out on some real important information, and you don't want to be left behind. Trust me, especially in the new world, because the new world is coming now, and we want to all be ready for that, the changes. And we're going to talk a little bit more about the Aquarius age. Oh, look at that. So I'm on Amazon.com, and it's only $49. Wow. Oh, my goodness. Americans have it easy. Everything's so cheap over there. Canada, everything's very expensive. Okay, so I'm going to get the link. Yeah. Right. Okay, I'm back. So here's the link. If you all want to use the link, that's my affiliate link. So I may get a small commission from your purchase, probably pennies, probably maybe $1 or $2, but everything counts. Everything helps. So yeah, so just click on that link. I will also have the link in the description box after the video. So if you're interested in purchasing the book, the link will be in the description box below. Okay. All right. So, what else? Give me 1 second, everyone. Okay. Very good. I'm just going to have my glasses here just in case I need to see, because it's easier for me to see with the glasses on. Okay. So any other questions? Please put the link. Okay. The link is there. I got it. Thank you. Perfect. Perfect. You just bought one. Great. You're one step closer to being amazing. Perfect. Yes. Okay. So Omar says, I wanted to know all the different types. Yep, we've covered them. So if you just tuned in, make sure you rewind and you get all of the types, okay? And you can also look up the types online. You don't have to have the book, like I said. Okay, John says it's 15 pounds in the UK. Beautiful. Very cheap. 15 bucks is really good. Okay, so any other questions? Okay. Sarah says, who is the author? The author is Linda Bunnell and Ra Uru Hu. And we'll talk a little bit about Ra Uru Hu. Ra Uru Hu was a Canadian. He died in 2011. I think he died from heart complications, I think it was, what was it? I think it was a heart attack that he had, but you could also look up videos online about him as well, the founder. He is the founder of the Human Design, and his story is actually really interesting. I mean, if you hear his story, I think, it's a very interesting story. I highly recommend. There is something on YouTube. You can look it up and see what that's all about. Okay, let's get back to the questions because I don't want to spend, I'm going to spend maybe another 5 minutes on here and then I'm going to bounce because I got some errands that I have to run. So I'm going to answer. Justice says, as a generator, how do you recognize your gut response? I.e., when your gut is telling you yes or no? Well, that's a very good question, okay? Based on my experience, because like I said earlier, I have a lot of friends and I have a lot of people. I have a lot of friends and I have a lot of people that are generators. Okay. A lot of my family members are generators. And one of the things that I've learned about generators is it's all about how you respond to something. Okay. Everything is within your response. So if somebody says to you, and oftentimes with generators, somebody will ask you a question. Okay. They'll say to you, well, what do you think about this? Do you think you can come to this meeting next week? Or do you think you'd be able to create this for me? Or do you think you'll be, you know what I mean? And at that point, when you're about to respond, you're going to know based on how you respond. And your response usually comes right away because you'll know. You'll just know, okay? Especially if you're following your strategy. And as I learned from Karen Curry, one of the things is that you need to follow your strategy, because if you're not following your strategy and you're not responding, sometimes generators don't respond. And there's a reason why you don't respond. Ask yourself, why aren't I responding to this? Maybe because it's not for you. Simple. If you're not enthusiastic about something, like for example, if I ask you as a generator and I say, Justice, do you want to learn about human design? You're either going to say, yeah, I'm into it. Or you're going to say, I don't know. If you say you don't know, it's probably a no. Okay. So another thing too, I've learned from Karen Curry, because as a teacher, you have to have, as a student, you have to have a teacher. And as a teacher, you have to have a teacher too. So what I've learned from Karen Curry is that with the generators, they tend to go, or and that's connected to your sacral, and the sacral is the sexual energy, which is right here. It's the sexual energy, right? Sexual energy is very powerful. So to answer your question, how do you recognize your gut responses? Well, you recognize them through the or okay, so or and you can also recognize it by the response. So if you're not quick to respond, it's like that saying, right? There's a saying where it goes, they say, what do they say? They say, oh, they left me on red. When somebody looks at your message, they read it and they don't say anything. Well, that person's probably a generator. They don't want to respond because they're not into it. That's it. Simple. This information is super, super simple. Okay. So you can keep it simple like that. And by the way, Justice, we're going to look more into that because I don't know everything. Obviously there's things that I'm still learning, but yeah, that's one of the ways. Okay. 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 Juice says, got through my stress, keeping it real. Yes, we got to keep it real in the channel. Okay, Nikki says she is going to buy it for Christmas. Yes, buy it for Christmas. Put it under your tree. This is an investment, okay, for yourself. Do something nice for yourself for 2021, okay? Because we're almost there into 2021. Okay. Okay, so Dalton says, I'm a manifesting generator sacral. Beautiful. That's nice. See, you know about yourself. That's great. Okay, what else? I'm Canadian Toronto girl. Hi. Okay, nice. Age of Aquarius. Yes. Okay, so you all have the link there. Okay. Yes. Yeah, the more north you go, the more expensive it is. It's very expensive here. Where I live in Canada, it's very, very expensive. Very expensive. It's very expensive to live here. It's not free. Okay, what else? I appreciate you're welcome. Okay, Omar asks how many types there are. There's 4 types. 4.5 types. 4 types, right. Okay, so what else? Yes, I'm going to be doing astrology, but again, like I said, just be patient with me because I have other things that I have to do, and I'm not going to be available to do everything right away. So just be very patient with me. Okay. Okay, so I think that's it. I think I'm going to leave it there. I don't think that there's any other questions. I want to thank everyone so much for being on the channel and for subscribing to the channel. Like I said, we're going to be doing this more. I'm going to try to come on maybe every day or every second day, depending on how busy I am. So yeah, so leave me a comment if you're watching this after the live. Leave me a comment. Let me know what you think. Let me know what else you want to learn. Let me know what type you are, Let me know what your experience has been as the type that you are. And yeah, we'll take it from there. So thank you so much for tuning in, everybody. I am sending you lots of love and light, and I will see you very soon. Bye.